Like she said, she want to do a TED Talk. 2018, Lord's willing, I'm doing me a TED Talk. I don't care what nobody say, no professor, no human being. So I like to think of the story of David. So the story of David is so significant because everybody knows that David was a little shepherd boy. And as a little shepherd boy, he was overlooked a lot. And there'll be a time in your life where you're just doing a position where you're just serving. You're just, volunteering. And people kind of overlook you. Even if it's something that you feel like it's great that you're doing, some people are like, oh, that's just little Jessica doing whatever. Oh, that's just little Susie. And this is how people did with David. I want you to know that God has called you to be a great person in his kingdom. And no one should be able to tell you that you aren't. And this is what happened with David. David was anointed because King Saul had did something that God was just like, all right, it's this time to let you go. But everybody was looking for Jesse's sons, one of Jesse's sons, the big bulky ones, to be this appointed king. But at the end of the day, the oil flowed over David. I mean, it didn't just flow. It went from his head down to his toes. And this really meant like, oh snap, you out here finna be the king. So during this time, it was a process that he still had to go through. He still was able to help King Saul. He still was able to help his brothers. And ultimately, he was able to help his people by fighting Goliath and killing him with the work of God through him. And this is what's going to happen during your season of singleness. God is going to be able to talk to you. He's going to be able to allow you to be restored. He's going to be able to heal your heart. And in doing so, he's going to be able to send for you. They sent for David to be the king. And God will send for you. The best advice I ever got during my season of singleness, one of my cousins said to me, Jessica, when the students are ready, the teachers will appear. And I was just like, okay, what does that mean? You being all deep and stuff. He just was like, when God is ready for those students to hear what you have to say, meaning your audience, meaning whoever it is that you're trying to captivate, he will send you right there for them. That's exactly what happened with David. God was getting ready to prepare him to be king, and he sent for Jesse's son, David. And in doing so, people will try to alter you and change you and say, okay, well, now that you've been sent for, we need you to do it this way. We need you to talk this way. We need you to wear these type of clothes, or do your hair like this. And that's what they was trying to do for David. David had put on the king's armor, and it was way too heavy for him. He picked up the sword was too heavy, and he was just like, you know what, nah, I'm just gonna pick up some rocks and use my slingshot. I'm gonna do me. I'm gonna do what God has instilled in me. So in doing so, David went and picked up 5 rocks, and all it took was one rock to kill Goliath, that big giant. All it takes is you and your talent that God has given you, because the Holy Spirit was in that rock in order for him to kill him. That rock didn't just happen to kill the giant by itself. The Holy Spirit was in there. When you are steadfast and you are not moving, you're not shifting or changing for nobody, God will use your voice, come on somebody, to help his people. God will use your talent to help his people. That God-given talent, you're not going to have to change. So when you're walking into your calling in your season of singleness, don't get weary in doing well. People see you. They're not going to say anything at the time, but they're seeing you. They're watching you. They're seeing how diligent you are. And when the time is right, God will drop it in their spirit and say, I remember that person that used to sing out there at the churches. I remember that person who used to speak. You know what? Let me call them. Let me call them this time. And guess what? That means the students are ready for you. So just walk into your purpose. It's going to take time. And don't let nobody shift you. And that's exactly what David did. He didn't let anyone shift him. He just used his God-given talent. Thank you for watching Embracing My Season of Singleness. And I will be back with more.